Welcome back. We have another episode of Beck the Vet, and today I got my brother Tony, brother Redeemer Chappelle. He is a photographer, former Marine veteran, and he also is a licensed gun instructor in the state of Maryland. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Welcome to the platform. I
All day.
appreciate you
Thank you,
coming
man.
on.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited.
Not
I'm
a
excited
problem,
to be
brother.
here.
One of the first things I like to do is get to know my guests. So the first question I have is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how do you think that helped shape who you are today?
All right. So I'm from a place called Danville, Virginia. And yes, to
VA.
those listening, it is the country. It's from the country. Yes, I do hay. I pick tobacco, slap hogs. I did all this. That's why I'm country strong.
Hey,
I'm country
VA
strong.
stand up. I'm from Virginia
Yeah,
Beach, so
hey,
I already
VA all
know.
day,
Yes, sir.
all
Two up,
day.
two
So I'm
down. All
that's where
right.
my background from. Yep, my background is from I'm from there, and as Beck said, I'm currently live in Maryland. I moved to Maryland in 2015 after leaving the military.
All
So
right. So you've gone from serving the Marines to teaching firearm safety and capturing moments through photography. So how did that journey happen for both, and what was the inspiration behind it?
awesome. So even in the Marine Corps, I taught weapons handling. So I started in the Marine Corps. So fun fact, I grew up in a household where guns weren't allowed. So, so for me to learn and have the knowledge that I have now, I started in the Marine Corps with the firearms and learning each one of the weapon systems and being able to teach each one of the weapon systems and being certified on it. And then another fun fact, I was deployed to Iraq and I was on gate guard duty. And a supply truck came in and a box fell off the supply truck
Oh,
and I picked the box up thinking it's trash, and I put it in the hut. I opened the box. It was a brand new Nikon camera with a sports lens, and that's how I got into
oh
photography.
wow.
Yeah, so it was almost destiny. It was destiny for me to be able to pick that lens up
You
and be
start
able to
using.
shoot. It fell in my lap. You know, that's how I got in photography that way.
I was
So.
gonna ask about the guns. You said you wasn't having guns in the household. So how many guns do you have in the household now? How many guns do you own?
Oh man, I'm probably in the hundreds. I got a few hundred. I'm a
Ooh,
collector.
okay.
I am a collector. So not only just for safety or teaching, I am a collector. So I try to collect what I like, all the way back to like the War Wars, different like that collecting.
What's your
So
favorite
yes.
gun to handle?
I would say, of course, currently my favorite gun, Mac 9 Comp. It is a another version of like Staccato, but it's so smooth and it's a fraction of the price of the Staccato is like 3,500. You can get this one for 900. Works the same way, moves the same way, smooth as the same way. So that Mac 9 DS Comp right now is currently my one of my favorites to have.
Okay, so which one takes more patience? Is it teaching a new shooter or getting a perfect photograph?
So I would say because I have been shooting photography for so long, it kind of comes a little bit easier for me to set up a scene because I'm used to it. When I first started, it was really tough, but I had a good mentor who taught me to set up the scene, make sure the lighting is correct. Now it's like my brother's also a photographer, so he's like, man, how do you do that? I can literally go in a room and know what my settings are when I walk into the room automatically because I already know what I've been doing it so long. Teaching somebody to shoot will probably be a little bit more intense than shooting photography because everybody comes with a different background. And I've had the I wouldn't say worst student, but the most difficult student I had literally break down in my arms crying for having to use a firearm. But after I coached her through, she got a perfect score,
Mhm.
right? And so I would say, but that's the fulfilling part for me, is that seeing somebody who does not understand the mechanism of firearm, and then later on being able to perfectly execute the commands and being able to defend themselves properly. That's what I love about it. And it's
Okay.
more a little bit more difficult than throwing it out.
All right. So I know they say you don't join the Marines, you become one. So what was it
Come
about the
on.
Marines that stood out to you
Come
the
on,
most to cause you to
man.
join?
You listen, come on. You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Once a Marine, always a Marine. It's just what it is, right? So I would say because from my background, Danville, I love my mother is still there, my brothers and sisters still there. But because I come from such a smaller place and country place, I really wanted to branch out. I really wanted to branch out. And to be honest with you, the reason why I even signed up to be a Marine because they said it was too hard and the uniforms was the best uniform. So I was like, first of all, you ain't gonna tell me what's too hard for me. You know what I mean? I was like, I gotta prove everybody that said they was wrong. I worked at Kmart, and my Kmart manager, right before I left the boot camp, was like, I don't know why you're going. My son is smarter, stronger than you, and if he didn't make it, he washed out of boot camp. I know you ain't. So needless to say, I went to boot camp. I passed and I came back and I said, no, your son was just weak. You know what I'm saying? I was like, as I come back in my uniform, you know what I mean? So, but that's what made me join. I wanted, they said it was the hardest, so I wanted something tough wanted to challenge myself. And of course, the uniform is the best uniform. Just want to throw it out there. Not to say nothing about the other branches, but the uniform is the best.
I mean,
You know
y'all
what
all
I'm
right,
saying?
but so we
Yeah.
met Kappa Lambda Chi Military Fraternity Incorporated. We are both members.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
do you remember how we connected through the fraternity?
I do actually. We were heading to a fraternity convention, and one of your chapter brothers, Guardian, I was staying at Guardian's house, and we were leaving together to go down to the convention, and we met at Hooters,
Yep.
and we broke bread at Hooters, and that was me and you's first connection that we had from there.
Yep.
So.
You do remember.
Yeah, so
I was checking.
it was a good little time. That's all. So
Back
yeah,
to your service in the Marines. So, what's one thing people assume about the Marines that isn't always true?
that we eat crowns, and that we have to be that Marines are. That's the last result. They're not as smart as most branches, and contrary to that, a lot of Marines have degrees and very intelligent to do things. So that's one misconception that most people have is that we chose the Marine because the other ones wouldn't accept it, but that's not true.
I agree.
You know.
So, who are your biggest influences?
Currently, so I would say on both sides, photography side, I have a mentor. His name is Nate Tyler. So he's an Army vet to be exact. He's an Army vet, and I met him during a New York Fashion Week, and from the start, he poured into me from the beginning. It wasn't like, oh, I'm better than you. He poured into me beginning. So he has molded me and shaped me. And then also not only that, on the physical aspect, he's disciplined, gym wise, mental aspect. So he's a well packaged, like spiritual, mental. He's well packaged, and he influenced those around him to be the same way around. So for the photography side, it's Nate Tyler. On the shooting side, it's me. I'm my influence shooting because I really don't look at the next person who I'm trying. I'm just trying to be a better version and a better version of me when it comes to gun handling and teaching. I want to be better than I was this year. The next year, I want to take it to a different level of my skill level to bring it up. So I influence myself when it comes to. I challenge myself. So.
Okay. What separates a good photographer from a great photographer?
That's a great question. A good photographer just understands the basis of photography and thinks their skill is all that they need to be a photographer. A great photographer incorporates any and everything around them. So, and you have to be well rounded. I have a great photographer makes their client feel special, feel needed and heard. Not just doing what you want to do. You incorporate everybody. You make them feel like they were a part of the whole picture. A great photographer creates a mood board. A mood board shows them, hey, these are possible shots that we can take. Okay, and then you be patient, you be kind, and because a lot of times families, individuals are nervous to be in front of that camera, So the more you make a person feel comfortable as a great photographer, the better results you get in your pictures.
All right. So what's one event you were hired for that you'll never forget?
I was hired for a funeral, man.
Oh,
Someone hired me to take pictures of a funeral. And when the gentleman called me,
that's
he
different.
said, "Hey, I've been following you for a long time. I love your work. I'm about to ask you something, and it's gonna seem weird when I'm about to ask you." He said, "My father has died." And he's like, I said, "This is unorthodox, but I want pictures of him in the casket, people that showed up to his funeral. I want those pictures."
Oh
I
wow.
really, my first initial response was, "No, sir. I don't want to do, I don't want to do pictures of your father." I went home. I talked to my wife about it. And I was like, "Babe, this is something that I, it's hard." She broke it down to the perspective of how branches of service give the last rites with the flag. She was like, "This is an honor for you, for someone to, you give a family memories and pictures that will last them a lifetime. It is an
Mm.
honor to do it." So I accepted it as an honor more so of and I respected it. So I laugh about it now because it was in the cathedral, and to be respectful of the casket, I would never cross the casket, so I would have to run in the back of the cathedral to get to the next side. So
Yeah.
by the time I was drenched in sweat because I was running. And when I was done, the family cried and hugged me because they felt like I had been respectful to their father. They felt like I gave them justice. And for me, it just carried on my service. It carried on a service. I was like, I felt honored that they chose me to capture those things, which they still have pictures today, and they thank me every year for the pictures that I get. And that right there has been over 5 years ago, and I get a thank you every year from the family.
And kudos to your wife for
So
giving you a different perspective on it, cause yeah,
absolutely,
that's different.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I appreciate her for that.
So if
I
you
was
could,
trying to run away from it. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah, I understand, cause it's different. Like that's something that's not
Yeah,
normal, and I can understand your hesitation behind it. But
yeah,
but what your wife said, she was spot on. So I'm glad you
spot on.
experienced
She
it, and
spoke
now if
life.
somebody else asks you, you're not gonna hesitate. You're gonna be like, okay, this is what some
Absolutely,
family wants me to honor them in this way. So
absolutely,
I understand
absolutely.
that. So if you could shoot photos anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. I would have to say it would have to be some like London. And I chose London because of the buildings, the landscape, being able to capture those um, things that most people don't even see in their lifetime. And to be able to be able to capture those things, that would be my goal, to capture those beautiful things. So then my work, and when I look at photography, the reason why I want to capture those goals because after I'm gone, I want my work to still be here to linger on, my legacy to be here and to be able to capture those things and post those things and have somebody use those things would be something for me. It'll be a goal for me in my life. You know.
Okay. Let's talk about your career and experience a little bit. So, what does responsible firearm ownership mean to you? Because I know it's a little different
Yeah.
stigma when it comes to one of us walking around with firearms. And
Yes.
so what does
Yes. And you
responsible
don't.
firearm ownership mean to you?
So for me, it means, as I tell all my students, you shouldn't do anything different that you would do if you did not carry. Your carrying should be what it is, for protection. It should be for protection. And you should take, as I do, I've always increased my learning. Just because I'm an instructor here, I am an instructor on multiple things. I'm a rifle instructor. I'm a machine gun instructor. I always and every year send myself to another class to learn more in safety, about safety, carrying it safety, making sure, if you have children in the house, that you're locking your firearms up, that you're cleaning your firearm, because there's nothing worse than a dirty firearm trying to shoot it and you can't protect yourself. That you understanding what your actual firearm does, if it has a safety, if it doesn't have the safety, how do I'm supposed to carry this firearm, knowing the laws of each and one of the states that you are able to carry in. That's a safety gun holder because in the DMV area, a lot of people don't know there's a word called reciprocity. And I live in Maryland. No other state has reciprocity with Maryland, but Maryland has reciprocity with other states. What does that mean for responsible gun owners? If you have a Maryland concealed carry and you go into DC carry, that means you're breaking the law. It's a felony. You must hold a DC, Maryland license to be able to carry in Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina. So if you just carry in constitutional state, like the state you're in, that's a constitutional state, meaning that you can carry concealed without a permit. And unlike that, you cannot carry that concealed outside of your state because you don't have the permit to carry outside of the state. Mm-hmm. So responsible carrying is one, understanding the laws, that what you can do, understanding your firearm, the ins and out of your firearms, understanding, making sure you're safe around not just children, anybody that enters in your home that's not you, including your spouse, everybody, that your stuff is carried and put away correctly, and it is only for if you're in danger or that person's in danger. So that's what safety for me looks like.
Okay, and that goes actually to my next question. So what are some common mistakes that new gun owners make? Because I know you said
Common mistakes,
being responsible and knowing the laws for each
yeah,
state. I'm assuming that's
yeah,
probably number one.
yes, because they'll get it and like, oh yeah, I can carry here, and not realize, no, you can't. You don't have reciprocity to carry there. You must understand your reciprocity when you're carrying. Now, it does not say that you cannot carry. So then you must know the law. The law is if I don't have a concealed carry license in the state, or it don't have reciprocity with the one I have, that means my gun must be in one place, my magazine must be in another place. It doesn't say I can't carry. It states I have to have 2 points of contact. One in the trunk, one in the glove box, or whatever you want to, where you keep it in the front. And that means you're still carrying, but you have to make sure that you're proving that my intent to when I had to use it, I had to get out the car, go to the back, load my magazine in there. So then it's like, if you're doing something wrong, then your intent was to do something wrong. Because if you had to do all of that to get into your firearm to shoot somebody the wrong way, then that's what the law is trying to prevent. It's trying to prevent negligence when somebody is carrying just to carry. I also would say is, just because you heard a firearm is nice doesn't mean you should purchase it. The firearm is for you. If you can't properly grip the firearm, if the firearm is too small, if you can't wrap your middle, your ring, and your pinky around the grip, that means the firearm is too small for you. So you're getting it because, oh, this is Tiffany blue, or this is nice and pink. You know what I mean? Then you can't grip the firearm properly to use it. Then you basically have a paperweight for your thing, or you putting other people in danger when you're trying to fire because you cannot properly grip it, and so your fire or your rounds will go certain places and not on target, and you still put yourself in danger.
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
That's something that new gun owners do. They do it. They're pick it because they heard the gun was nice, instead of actually trying the firearm out to see if it fits them. They just do it because they heard something was nice. So that's a misconception and a problem sometimes we have with new gun owners.
Gotcha. I ain't even think about it like that. That's wow. Mm-hmm. Gave me something to think about. So what do you enjoy? What do you enjoy most about teaching others?
When the light bulb goes off, when they realize that they are as powerful as they think they are. You know, they did, or they was like, man, I can't do it. And when they finally do it, and it was like, oh, I listened, I did it. You know, and that's a big thing. When I'm at the range, I call my wife before I go on the range, and you know, we'll pray because, you know, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Anything can happen at the range. And I've been teaching for a while, and thank God nothing has ever happened to me, but I get to go in there safe. And that is for me, when I'm teaching students, that they take what I say and they apply it, and I see the aha moment, and I see them get better at what they're doing. That has always been my reason why, and that way for me, I have just put out into the world responsible gun owner. And I also equip them to protect their family and themselves, and that's why I got into the business of doing it.
All right. So, what advice would you give someone interested in taking their first safety course?
I would say flush everything that you think you know about firearms, even experience. As I mentioned earlier, I take courses all the time, and I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I take courses. I learn new things all the time about firearms. All the time I learn, and so you want to go in to any situation on safety or learn about firearms as a open mind. Listen to, because you don't know everything. There's some people out there who know a lot more than you do. You know, no matter how long you do it, and they can influence you and teach you some things that make you better overall. So go in there with an open mind when you go into your first safety course.
All right. Let's talk about your photography. Your passion for photography. So, what's your first paid photography job?
What was my first photography job?
Your first one.
My
You got
kids.
some money from. Okay.
My kids. The one I got money from,
Yeah.
I would say
The,
the first one
the first one
I
you got
got
hired
money.
for.
The first one I got hired for, I think it was a portrait. It was a portrait shoot. It was actually one of our sister sorority. Remember, she had to do a business shoot, and she reached out to me and she said, "Tony, could you do my shoot?" And like that, I was like, "Yes, as I can," because at that point in time I had been shooting for years, but not on a professional level. I was not confident enough to go out there and actually shoot professional. But at that time I was been shooting for years,
Okay.
and she was my first actual job, and I charged her $50 for a shoot. So I got my first $50 doing portrait, right? So my first $50 doing portrait, and then which was amazing. The pictures turned out amazing. To be exact, she still uses them today. You know, and
Wow.
matter of fact, the young lady wrote a book, and one of my pictures is her picture that I took back in the day on photo as her picture biography. So that was my first, and I made $50. My first shoot I ever did. And it was a portrait
Nice.
shoot.
So, what's the most challenging part of photography, in your opinion?
I would say the person, believe it or not, the people that you are shooting is the most challenging part, because you never know what you're going to get with that person. I've had clients that they want what they want, even if they're not satisfied ever. They will come in there, their hair not done, and then they will be like, "Oh, I don't like the picture." Nothing wrong with the picture. It's something wrong with your hair. You didn't do your hair before you got here. Now you want me to do your hair in post. You know what I'm saying? You want me to fix the things that you didn't fix when you came in there. And then I had one young lady. She said we did graduation shoot, and she was like, "I don't like how my hair looks." And so I said, "Is there something wrong with the contrast of the picture? Is it not sharp?" "Yeah, the picture fine. I don't like my hair looks. Can you change it?" I said, "You want me to change your hair?" I was like, and so you know what I mean? Like I said, "Ma'am, now I will tell you, but my skill level, I could put a wig on there and put some
I
other
was about
stuff,
to
but I'm
say,
not.
she asked you to
I'm not
Photoshop some
doing.
stuff.
Yes, I can Photoshop it and do it like that. But when we build a client, we build them for what they want. That's why you have a consultation with that client. You find out what they want, and then you build your contract and your invoice off of what the client need is. Now, if she wants that to happen, then it's a different price. If they don't want to pay the price for that, then they get what they get. You know what I mean? They get what they get. But if she does want to elevate, yes, I can go in. But you find, and I would have to say, ladies, don't kill me. It's normally the ladies that did not come prepared for the shoot. You know what I mean? They did not come prepared. Their hair wasn't done. They didn't get time to get to the hairdresser. They didn't do something. It's normally them that have a problem. But again, if you remember earlier, I said if you go in there and you approach it at a business level, you have a sunny disposition, which I do when I talk to my clients. Most of the time, I make them feel good about themselves because I want my work to be successful. There's some things I'm going to do regardless of what the client says. I'm going to clean up that hair. I'm going to make little because I want my product to be out there and I want somebody to see my product and be like, okay, I'm going to hire Tony because he's going to pay attention to the details. He's going to make me look good. So I would say most of the time it's the person that can make a photo shoot difficult, not the photographer. Because I can deal with the sun, I can deal with light, and that's because I'm a seasoned photographer. Now early on, I would have been like, man, the sun bright, I can't get this light. Now I can work in any situation, I can figure it out. You know?
Okay. I talked about our connection with Kappa Lambda Chi Military Fraternity Incorporated, and I know you've held
Yes, sir.
numerous positions in the fraternity. But one of the questions I like to ask my brothers when they come on my platform is, what advice would you give to other veterans or members of the armed forces who wanted to join our organization?
I would say to them, we are the first organization to do something different outside of Greekdom. And if you're looking for like-minded individuals, and what I mean by that is, if you're a veteran and you're missing that camaraderie that we had while we were active duty, if we looking for camaraderie that we had, if you're looking for that friendship, that networking, and even sometimes connecting with some of the people that you ain't seen in years, in there, and you need help with your VA claim and buying a house and being motivated to go back to school and anything helping people and reaching out, Kappa Lambda Chi will meet that goal for you. Just like anything that you do, you have to put the effort in to make it what it is. You know, you have to do it. Holding the different positions that I held is because I love people. And you have to love people and loving to make an impact and an influence to even join a said organization. You know.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. I can tell you why I joined and I pledged. I was nearing the end of my career, so I was getting ready to retire. So it was good to
Yeah.
be around brothers that were in the same position or have already done it. So getting that advice when it came to retire was golden.
Yes,
In that
I love it
position.
now. I love giving that advice. We have a brother in the group. It's like, man, I'm nervous getting out, and being able to share and take that nervousness away of him retiring and saying this is what you got to do, brother, to get what you need. That's fulfilling because there's no other community. And when you're talking about a Greek organization that's veteran, there's certain things I can say to you, Beck, that you're gonna instantly understand when I say it because you're another veteran. You know what I mean? I can't have that conversation with my mama. I can't have that conversation with my brother who ain't served. You know what I mean? I can't have it, but I can say it to you, and you will know exactly what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. It's because that's your outlet. You have a way to, if you're going through something, you have brothers that been through what you've been through, experiencing what you experienced, and now can help you get through what you're now dealing with. That's what I love about the organization Kappa Lambda Chi Military Fraternity Incorporated. You know, and we have the ability to influence our own veterans. You know what I mean? And then influence the community.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about your future plans and reflect a little bit. So if you could go back in time, what would you tell your younger self?
If I was to go back in time, what would I tell my younger self? The fame ain't cracked up what it ought to be. You don't have to prove yourself to nobody. That's what I would tell my younger self. I would tell my younger self, be you. Never waver from who you are. People are gonna like you just for who you are. You ain't gotta never change. And what I mean by change, I ain't saying being out here being crazy. What I'm saying by change is I don't have to change to fit in.
No.
I can just be myself. You know, I can be myself, and I'm gonna be liked by the people who supposed to like me. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna be around by the people who wants to be around me. I don't have to be any different. I just gotta be Tony. And if I be Tony, what I understand is that I believe that we are assigned to people. If I'm outside of my assignment trying to be something, how can I help the person that really needs me?
Oh,
How and I feel like if I be myself, the people that I need to influence, I need to bless, will flock to me, and then I can be a blessing to them, and then they can be a blessing to who they are aligned to and signed to.
that's
That's what
good.
I would tell my young.
That's good advice back then, and that's good advice now. So yeah, I like that. So what's one lesson the Marine Corps taught you that everyone can benefit from?
When I say this, I know some discipline.
Discipline.
Discipline is one thing I would say. Not that the other branches, and I know my frat brothers gonna come in. Not that the other branches don't have it. The Marine Corps have is a way that they influence discipline that is no other. You know what I mean? And for me, I needed that discipline. I needed that discipline. It still affects my life today, how I carry myself. The discipline that I learned in the Marine Corps has taken me places that I wouldn't have been if I did not have that discipline. And what I mean by that is when people talk about me, whether it be work or my clients, he's on time always. He's always ready when he's ready before I get there. You know what I mean? Like those are things that the Marine Corps taught me to be ready, to not wait for somebody else to do it. You be ready. Those have taken me into rooms where people didn't think I should be in just because of my discipline
The one
and
thing,
showing up.
one thing I liked about the Marines, because I used to go to Camp Fuji all the time in Japan. I liked how
Oh
your
yeah,
E4s were looked at like sergeants in the army, E5s,
yeah,
and then your
yeah,
E6s were looked at like senior leaders, E7s in the
yes,
army. So I thought that
yes.
structure, I liked that when it came to the Marines. So
I, and it is just like you said back. Even as an E3, for us that's called a Lance Corporal. For y'all, it's a PFC. That Lance Corporal has so much power in the Marine Corps because what they teach is instant obedience to orders. Not that it's like a slave mentality. It's basically what we taught is if you don't listen, you can die.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And you can apply that to your life. If you don't listen, you can die.
I tell people
You 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 can be out there. Yep.
you have to learn how to follow before you can lead,
Yep.
and that's the one thing I liked
Before
about the
you.
military, because that's.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. You know,
Are there any goals you are currently trying to chase at this current moment?
huh.
Uh oh.
Yes. So I am personal life. I will be graduating with my second master's in December.
Nice.
I
I
have
want to
my
say
MBA.
congratulations. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. MBA, that's one of the goals. That's a right now goal I'm trying to complete. So I'll be graduating with MBA. Also, while I'm graduating MBA, I am elevating my. I just started my security business, and so that's a immediate goal of getting contracts that I'm gonna have. And so getting those different contracts is the immediate goal that I have because, as you know, I've been teaching so long. Now I can influence by teaching these security guards, private detectives. I can do that. I get to take what I love doing and make money from. That's a goal. My goal that I have, and then my next goal is to get these kids graduated.
I like that.
So
So
get them on and get them on out of here. Get them on out the house. You know what I mean?
the
Like,
empty
get
nesters,
them
I'm gonna
on out
tell
the
you,
house.
they always come back. No.
Yeah, man. Listen, listen. Hey, look, that's because I want them to come back. And I'm like, I'm gonna look through the peephole. Who is that? You know what I mean? So, but yeah. So that's my current goals that I have right now.
All right. Last question. So I know for your shoots and your license, I just want to you put out there for social media. What's your social media sites in case anyone had questions after they watched this interview? Where can they find you?
Okay. I appreciate that. So Moto, for my photography side, you can reach me at TKC Photography LLC on Instagram and Facebook. Um, and on the firearm side, you can reach me at King Defense Solutions .com and King Defense Solutions IG. That's what you can get it on IG, like that. So any one of those, if you forget it and reach me out on photography for firearm, I'll still answer your questions. Any questions that you have, weddings, event proms, I do it all. So I do it all. So I look forward to connecting with you. If you choose me, I'll be honored and humbled.
Appreciate that. Well, we got a game one to watch. Knicks Spurs.
Come on, man.
NBA
Get
Finals.
on
Go
out of here,
Knicks.
man. Get on out of here, man. We're not rooting for the Knicks tonight. You know what I'm saying? We're not rooting for them tonight. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do it, man. We're not gonna do it. Yeah, we ain't gonna do that, but I appreciate you having me on, man. I appreciate you letting me to tell my story and letting people. It is an honor, vet to vet, that when I see vets doing great things, I'm always humbled to be a part of what other vets are doing. I'm part of an organization called Vets Growing America,
Oh, wow.
and
I think I
and
seen that. That's why I hit up
yeah,
Brother Samurai.
so I give free headshots. I give free headshots to vets who need jobs and stuff like that. So if you're a vet and you don't have headshots and all of the stuff, to be exact, I've also done the headshots of your line brother. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
okay.
for his job. So I do that because that's my form of using my gift to give back to someone who wrote a blank check. and
Nice.
and sometimes they have difficulties of what they need and what they're trying to do, and I kind of ease them into what they need as far as headshots and different things for the job. So giving back to our vets is important to me, and so I do that for our vets with Veterans Going America with the free headshots and stuff they have for me. So I'm always honored to serve, and I love the fact that I can continue to serve after I have taken off the uniform.
That's good stuff, man. I appreciate you growing on. And the reason why I built this platform is for brothers like you who are out here doing stuff outside of They took the uniform off, and yet they still got their businesses going using that the same commitment they had when they were in the military. So that's why I built it. I like to share other people's stories and let them come on my platform and tell it is what they do and what they love to do, their passions. And you have
I
two of
appreciate
them,
that.
and that's
And
awesome.
this man, and this I have, and I love both of them dearly. As my slogan said, I can shoot or I can shoot. You can choose which one you want. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy it, man. I definitely I enjoy everything, and it's just not. Most people think it's photography saved my life. When I got out, I was dealing with PTSD really, really bad, but photography in itself saved my life because it allowed me to see um, the world different. It allowed me to, when I started getting hiring for weddings and different events that made me happy, I loved being part of those events because I got to see the happiness in the world when I got to shoot that wedding, making that bride, a nervous bride, smile and get her photo. Man, it does something to you. You know what I mean? Because they already nervous. Making that groom feel comfortable because it's his day too. It's just that right there took me out of my dark place. It was part of my therapy that I needed when I got out, and that's why I continue to do it today because it is, and I teach others to do it, other vets. You know what I mean? Like because it shows them, hey, listen, there's a different side than your dark side. You know what I mean? It's like there's something to live for. There's something to give back to. It's something to be around. It really does open your eyes. It opened your eyes so much that they a lot of vets was doing it that they offer a Wounded Warrior program for learning photography for vets because to help them with their PTSD.
No.
And like and then to know these things and people perish for the lack of knowledge. Other vets being able to tell you about those things, there's many things that people don't know. Now you can go out there and search yourself. You know what I mean? You can go
Absolutely.
out there and find something that gives you your happiness back and when you're going through. Like and sometimes it takes another vet to do that for a vet. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Because if you never experienced some of the things I've been through, which I know you have, bet, then it's hard for me to take in what you tell me because you don't know what it's like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like you don't know what it's like. I for me, and I'm specifically talking about me. I need someone who has experienced. So when they say, "Hey man, you can get through it," man, he made it. I can make it then. You know what I mean? Because he did it. You know what I mean? Because I know he's been through some of the similar things that I been through, and that's my mission. To be that's my gift that God has given me to give back to others, because that's what I want to do. I want that vet to think they are who think they are hopeless, who think they don't have anything going on. I want them to be able to see the light in a different way,
Absolutely.
and then bring hope in that light. Yeah.
And for
So
me, what photography has done for you, that's what this platform is doing for me. So I definitely understand where you're coming from when you said that.
yeah,
But bro, I
yeah.
appreciate you for coming on, sharing your story, talking
Cool,
about your
man.
career as a Marine, sharing your firearms instructor and what you love doing about that and photography. So I appreciate you coming on my platform, telling us your story. As I am Beck the Vet, and you are my episode 18 now.
Come on,
We
man. Hey, that's a
episode
good number.
10, so make
That's a good number right there, baby. Come on now.
So as I continue to try to honor the past, build the future, and serve the now, this is Beck the Vet and my brother Tony, brother Redeemer, Chappelle, and we out of here. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Thank y'all. Thank you, back.